As soon as you get out of the national park, look what happens to the shoulders of Highway 64. From the park a few miles, here's probably one of the fourth or fifth gated cattle guarded road that runs off into the Kayenta National Forest. This little row of hills here, and I've come across this cattle guarded gate that runs off into the national forest. And what I'd probably do is just go right up to the very foot of those hills and use the vegetation as cover. There's a dirt road or a gravel road that runs back that way, and there's a dirt road that runs out. Dirt road out, and then cut in, and you got a place to camp. So I'm just a couple miles outside the park, and you can see what I'm dropping down into. The Grand Canyon isn't so grand up here. It's just a cut through the floor of the desert. Red Rock Desert, you can see for miles. I don't know what mountain that is way out on the horizon there. It's got to be 100 miles away. I'm 15 miles from the junction of 80. Highway 89. Came out of the park and went to Cameron. When I got to Highway 89, there are sections that have good shoulders, and then there's this. I'm still on Highway 160. Looks like this. There's a consistent 4-foot shoulder on both sides. I passed through Tuba City, and there's one little truck stop. I am in the Navajo Nation, and there's very little infrastructure in town. I mean, in the Navajo Nation, outside of town. I'm 30 miles to the west of the town of Kayenta. And I really tried hard yesterday, but I'm climbing up. As you can see, I've climbed up to a level where there's snow on the ground. Okay, so I'm here at the junction of 564, which runs off to the north. You can see the National Park Service, or it's a Navajo National Monument. I believe that's the 7th national monument I've been to on this trip. It's 9 miles down that way, and I know there's camping available. Right here at this junction, there is it's actually a pretty nice grocery store and gas station kind of food. Anyway, here at 564, and I'm still about 20 miles from Okay, I'm in Kayenta, Arizona. Right here on Highway 160. Right behind me is the town of Kayenta. From here, I'm going to Utah. And I was going to take 163, which goes up right through town here to the north and up through Monument Valley. The problem is Highway 163 has almost no shoulder. No shoulder. and I'm just not going to do that. So what I'm going to do is go 41 miles to the east and take 191, which has good shoulders, up to Utah. There's a BLM campground called Sand Island right on the banks of the San Juan River. I'm going to try to make that today. It's like 50 or 60 miles from here. Anyway, here's Kayenta. Okay, so I'm here at the junction of 160 and 191. 191 goes up to Utah. I'm less than 20 miles from the border. Highway 160 has 3 to 6 foot shoulders the entire way. East of the town of Kayenta, the traffic is light. West of the town of Kayenta, the traffic was moderate. So it was a little bit heavier on the western side. There's 2 big towns, Tuba City and Kayenta. And then I'm gonna say there's gas stations and whatnot about every 30 to 40 miles. 1 mile west of this junction is the small community of Mexican Waters, and they have a restaurant and a grocery store, a laundromat, and an RV park, and a gas station. Anyway, headed north on Highway 191. Okay, so I'm here at about 1 mile south of the Utah border. I can see the state line marker. You can see the large redstone or red rock features in the landscape, which are going to increase in the next 200, 300 miles. It's going to be pretty amazing. Weather is, actually I'm overdressed. The weather's in the 50s. And Highway 191 has about a 6 foot shoulder, which I really wanted to take 163 out of Kayenta north, and so I could stop at Monument Valley, but the shoulders of the road just made it too dangerous. So I came down here to 191. Sand Island. It's a BLM campground right on the banks of the San Juan River, which is a famed river in fly fishing lore. From Kayenta to here, which is where I traveled yesterday, I can't remember if it's 76 miles or 66 miles, but it's not a bad ride. The last probably 15 miles is a nice general decline, so you just kind of roll right here. But when you get here, there's a 10% grade for a quarter of a mile that takes you up, and you can see this big bluff right here, or cliff. Actually, right there at the cliff where I'm pointing, there's a sign that talks about the hundreds of petroglyphs that line this cliff wall. Very interesting. I walked over there yesterday before the sun went down. And, there's another road that comes down. This is the entrance road, and it's also probably more than 10%. That's probably like 12%. I'm 4 miles to the west of the town of Bluff on Highway 191, and today I'm gonna jump back on 191 and head north. I don't know how far I can get. I think there's rain in the forecast on Thursday. Today's Monday. I'd love to make it to Moab by then, but we'll see. There's a by the way, I found this campground on freecampsites.net. I'll put a link to the blmofficial.gov website and the freecampsite.net website, so you can read about it. It's $10 a night. It has a pit toilet, and I believe it has water. I saw it somewhere. I can't remember. But the town is less than 4 miles to the east. Anyway, onward. Okay, so I'm in the town of Bluff, Utah, and I camped last night at Sand Island, about 3 miles or 4 miles to the west. The Navajo Indian Reservation ends at the bridge over the San Juan River, right there. There's a gas station right here that has a small country store. Actually, a pretty good supply of dry goods. There is no grocery store in town. However, there is a laundromat, which is where I'm at. I don't know if you can see in there. And I've just threw my sleeping bag in. I like to dry my sleeping bag out pretty regularly. I wash my sleeping bag about once every 10 to 14 days. But if I pass a laundromat, I usually stop and throw my sleeping bag in to dry. I think it extends the life. There was a bit of a frost last night, but when you're sleeping in a sleeping bag, your breath condenses on the inside of the fly, and it makes it moist. So the sleeping bag absorbs some of that water. So I like to just dry it off real quick. It only takes 10 minutes. If I needed to here at the laundromat, I could. It's also a great place for electrical to recharge stuff, and I also take advantage of that. Sometimes, actually, recently, almost every laundromat that I've stopped at has Wi-Fi. I'm not even going to check here, but I don't think it has it, and I don't really have time. I'm not going to wash, but I usually pick a laundromat that has Wi-Fi. Anyway, in the town of Bluff, there's the Kayenta country store, gas station. I'll be heading north on 191. I'm sorry, 191.